Hi y'all. The reason for today's video is it is National Police Week here in the United States, and this is a week where we honor our fallen brothers and sisters and celebrate the officers who are currently serving with distinction. There's a big national celebration, always the week after Mother's Day, in our nation's capital. Week-long celebration. I've been there a number of times. Oh my God, the sight of all those police motorcycles coming into the Capitol along the National Mall. It's just the thunder of those bikes coming in. It's just absolutely gives you goosebumps. Almost all 50 states are represented. All 50 states are represented at the celebration, but I don't think all 50 states have motorcycles there. And it's very close to me because I'm third generation law enforcement. My grandfather, who I never had the pleasure of meeting, was a Reading police officer. My Uncle Ed was a federal agent and what is now referred to as the Special Surveillance Group. Had a different name back then. He was just referred to as a radio man. I worked for 15 years in law enforcement. I started out with the Borough of Moton, where I was a patrolman. Went in for, this is that kind of community. It was very much a sleepy little town. I equate it to Mayberry. I went in 11 a.m. for an interview. Was sworn in at 1:30 in the mayor's office, mayor's home, on his family Bible, and got my equipment, my uniform, and everything. And I worked the 4 to 12 shift with the sergeant that day, and then the midnight to 8. I worked the midnight to 8 shift. The training wheels were off, so I pulled the double shift. And such a sleepy little town. Worked that 8-hour overnight shift and didn't have a single call. So just drove around the borough and familiarized myself with the place, and it was something. But different times back then. I made $7.50 an hour. After I left Moton, I worked briefly as a narcotics investigator, doing buys and busts and stuff like that. Just that was briefly, because then I got into the security division of the Berks County Sheriff's Department, where I worked in the prisoner holding area during night court. Now, enough about me, about my exploits, which are next to none, really. Certainly nothing to talk about, or that I would want to talk about. We have this National Police Week every year, and it like I said, it's amazing. And one of the things I want to talk about here is police suicides. The reason I walked away from law enforcement was in 1996. It was. I knew 3 guys who killed themselves. One of them was a very close friend. Another fellow I didn't know, and another one I was friendly with, knew the guy cordially. But the one I knew, I went to the academy with, his name was Mike Axe, and Mike was a veteran of Desert Shield and Desert Storm, and while he was away with the Pennsylvania National Guard, his wife was stepping out, and pretty much everybody in town knew it except Mike. And then when Mike came home, that continued. And one day he came home early and caught her in bed with the guy. And he went back out in his patrol car and killed his dog Thor and killed himself. Not good. You know, Mike was a good guy. He was fun. Oh my God, he was fun. That was a real gut punch. What was the final straw for me was Fred Brosman, Reading PD. He went through a lot. In 90, I think it was 92, he shot a gangbanger named Chino. It was his street name. And if he wouldn't have shot and killed Chino, Chino would have killed Officer Lieberman, who I believe is now the chief of police in West Reading. Very good guy, good cop. Fred saved Lieberman's wife, and he went through hell. He went through a lot of politics stuff. The chief did not throw him under the bus, but the politicians sure as hell did. Mayor Warren Haggerty and city council, and oh my God, the media had a field day with him. Their circulation definitely was boosted because of him. Because every day there was something about the case. If it bleeds, it leads. But yeah, it was just an absolute tragedy for him. The DA cleared him of charges, and then they brought in this Hispanic equivalent of Al Sharpton, and he was putting all sorts of pressure on him, on the local government. And Janet Reno's Justice Department, Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department came in, and they cleared him of any wrongdoing, and they cleared him. The state police had an investigation. He was cleared then because people were saying, oh, we can't trust Reading PD to investigate their own. And ultimately, the conclusion of it was a coroner's inquest, and I was working. I was put on the detail around that because there was all sorts of death threats against Fred. Fred was chased around the Fairgrounds Mall. He was not allowed to carry his weapon. He was chased around by a group of gangbangers. There was lots of death threats against Fred, and they were credible from the gangs. And so there was a large contingent there. He was brought in through the judge's lot and up the judge's elevator. And the inquest, after the jury for the inquest went into the jury room, they voted, and he came back out in 9 minutes, clearing him of any charges. But the race baiters kept going, and there was a civil rights lawsuit against the city and against Fred. The day that was supposed to start, I believe, or he laid in his bed and killed himself, put the gun to his chest as opposed to his head. I don't know if that was because of his mother, open casket situation or whatever it was. you know, I heard stories that he was in his uniform when he did it. I do not know, and I can't verify that. But that one was the last straw, and I said to my wife, I don't care. I'm gonna walk away from this job. And the first job that paid well was a facilities maintenance lead for the Reading School District, and I took it and worked there for 20 years and retired because of an injury. And just it's rough. Was I the best cop in the world? No, not by far. But I'd like to think I made a difference. Yes, there are police cars on my Hawaiian shirt. I'm glad you noticed. Yeah, these are. I got this a long, long time ago. And what attracted me to them is the cars themselves. Even though the lights on the light bars are flippity flop, the red's on the wrong side and the blue's on the wrong side. Or no, only on some of them. But yeah, I spotted that, and being a Hawaiian shirt guy, I grabbed that real quick. But the main reason was the cars, because they were Dodge Diplomats or Grand Furies. They were pretty much the same car. Plymouth Grand Furies, Dodge Diplomats. And that's what I drove back then, back in the day. It's like I said, this is a time that we honor and celebrate our officers, and a lot of people don't like cops until they need one. Next time you see a cop, thank them. It means a lot more than you to know. Say God bless you. Tell them you pray for them, and pray for them. Don't just tell them. Pray for our law enforcement officers. They got a lot harder today than I did. I was fortunate that back then it was in a period of time where the officers were treated with a lot more respect than they are today. Yeah. Stay safe. God bless. Hang loose.